Hey Doc,
How's it going?
not too bad. So I thought we'd do a little interview kind of with each other to introduce us to the world. What's the thing you probably hear most after you've explained kind of how this care works? What's the phrase that you hear more often than anything else after you've explained it to a patient?
Here's how they go. This makes so much sense.
Yeah, that's exactly where we got married.
Yeah.
Maybe for another video, I'll tell you how I got arrested on my wedding day. It was a false situation, but not until I was in the back of a car did we figure out it was a mistaken. So let's just start from the top.
Okay.
What's your first name?
My name is Shane, Dr. Shane Smith.
Where are you from?
I live in Paradise.
Where are you from before Paradise?
I grew up mostly in and out of a town called Tehachapi.
Tehachapi.
Town, in the mountains in Southern California.
What brought you to Chico?
The college, like most.
Yeah. What kept you in Chico?
The community.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. My wife and I came up here, and we lived in the back of my truck for a while so we could save money on hotels so we could stay longer. So we instantly fell in love with this area.
Nice. So my name's Jason, Dr. Jason Gonzalez. I'm from Seattle originally. I came down to California for chiropractic college in the Bay, and I came out to Chico for a girl. Yeah, I met my wife when I was about a year and a half left in school. She was getting her master's from Chico State. So we did the long distance thing for like a year and a half, and I graduated first. And when you graduate chiropractic college, it's not like there's a residency. You would know that. They just kind of give you your diploma and say good luck. So over the year and a half, I got to know Chico pretty well, and I knew I wanted kind of a small town vibe. And Amy and I decided, let's make a go. And here we are 13 years later.
Yeah, I got to be at their wedding. It was very, very fun.
Yeah, awesome. TJ Farms. I don't know if they still do events, and there's like a pumpkin patch out there at TJ Farms, but that's where we got married. Yeah. Maybe for another video, I'll tell you how I got arrested on my wedding day. It was a false situation, but not until I was in the back of a car did we figure out it was a mistaken identity.
That was a good story.
So one of the things a lot of our clients want to know is why this kind of chiropractic. You and I both practice a very unique type of chiropractic, and why? It's not easy. It's not the most common type.
Yeah, this is definitely a niche, a specialty in the profession. There's numbers keep changing, but I think there's probably 700 of us in the country.
Yeah, in terms of a percentage, they keep throwing around maybe 2 or 3% of us. Of all practicing chiropractors, only a small percentage, specialize or do this unique type.
What really attracted me to this kind of work was I remember in school we'd have doctors come in every week, Friday seminars, and for years we listened to these doctors week after week after week, and they would tell all these crazy stories about all their techniques and all the stuff that they did, but almost every one of them would end up at the end of their speech, they would say, when all else fails, go after the upper cervical junction. And I was like, why don't we just do that to begin with? And I started diving into it, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. We can really change lives with an upper cervical adjustment. It's not about, not to minimize low back pain or anything, but I mean, it's way more than just localized back pain that we can help.
Right.
And that's what did it for me. What about you?
Yeah, so my entry point into upper cervical was a little bit different. When I was going through school, I was, a couple years behind Dr. Shane, and we went to the same college, by the way. We both went to Life West Chiropractic in the Bay Area in Hayward. But when I was going through school, my entry point or my on-ramp into chiropractic came from sports. I used to race bikes, and, you crash them, and you get road rash, and you get all beat up, and you end up in the office of a chiropractor or acupuncturist or massage therapy or ER. Wound up there a few times as well. Anywho, long story short, I thought that's what chiropractors do, is they kind of help athletes or people with just, random aches and pains. And the chiropractor that I was seeing adjusted all kinds of stuff on me. And when I went to school, I saw the upper cervical class, there. And I was like, how the heck are these docs helping all these people by just adjusting 2 bones? Like, I must be missing something here. Maybe they're only telling us about their best cases and kind of keeping the other ones, to themselves. And so I went through the majority of my school thinking that, the most thorough, the most complete, the most effective type of chiropractic was one that involved manipulating and adjusting literally from toes to head, And I got out into practice, and I got an internship or an associateship with a super busy office that was, kind of the more general or full spine chiropractor. And, after being there for close to a year, I didn't feel like I was helping people as much as I wanted to. And then through a fortunate series of events, another doc I met there turned me back onto the idea of focusing on the upper neck because of how impactful it is. So I don't know if you remember this, but I called you up one day and I said, hey, we went to the same college. I'm kind of floundering with chiropractic. I need to find my passion again. And it's like, well, you might want to consider the upper cervical. So I went back to school for a year, learned how to do it. And since then, I have not looked back. It's been a little over 10 years now I've been practicing this way. And the cases that we see, the people that we help, I mean, that's what feeds my soul more than anything else, is seeing that interaction with people, watching them come in, feeling downtrodden and desperate and frustrated and confused. And then we don't always have the answer or always have the solution, but when we do, it's just a sweet deal to lay it out for somebody in a way that makes sense and then actually help them, just navigate the whole path back to health. That's pretty rewarding.
Well, that was going to be my next question. What's the favorite part of doing this work? It's kind of segueing right into that. So,
So for you, what would be your favorite part?
Well, I mean, we focus on long-term relationships. It's not just a flash in the pan.
Mm-hmm.
And to be a part of someone's journey, like you were saying, watching them come in basically hopeless, because, I mean, a lot of our people that we see have been told they have to learn to live with it, or this is as good as you're going to get.
Yeah.
And here's the 17 drugs you're going to be on for the rest of your life. And it's a pretty poor state of mind. And we get the opportunity to sit down, look at them as a whole person, because we have parts and pieces, but they all are supposed to work together. And we get a chance to kind of analyze that and put a plan together to take them from a place of hopelessness, desperation, illness, sickness, and watch them blossom back into their healthy, normal selves. And, it's great because we get a chance to empower our people, our patients, and get them to the point where they don't have to, we have a relationship with them, but they're not dependent on you or I. They can, they're liberated. They're free. They can go and live and come in once in a while for a checkup and stuff. But
they learn how to make better choices.
Correct.
Moving forward. Once we get them fixed up and give them a few tools maybe they were lacking, now they can go out there in the world and choose A or B or C and pick the right one that's not going to set them back, or,
and feel confident in your decision making when it comes to making choices about your health. Because there's so many people get the Google-itis is what I call it, where you don't know, and so you go on Google and you're like, oh, I have a tumor, or whatever the web, the internet takes you to. But our patients, I think, walk away. Well, not only do they feel better and get their lives back, but they have that ability to take a health question and answer it confidently and know how to walk down that path on their own, and that's super empowering.
One of the things that you just said that reminded me is what I find really exciting about this work, and I think you'll agree, is the goal of what we're trying to do is different, and patients can feel that. A lot of the doctor-patient conversations they've had prior to coming in here are all about how do we manage this problem that you've got, and how do we give you some strategies and some tools and some devices and pills, potions, and lotions to help you live with this issue. Whereas, the conversation in our office and offices that have a similar mindset as ours is, let's not talk about how to manage the situation. Let's talk about what it looks like to restore your health and get your quality of life back to the point where you don't need to worry about managing something day in and day out. Problems you manage, but quality of life, when you get it, that's the new norm, So that part I really love to communicate to people in that sense, and they can feel it. Like you've seen people get a little bit watery-eyed and a little bit teary. We haven't even worked on them yet, but they're hearing a version of the story they haven't been told yet.
Right. And deep down, everybody knows it's the truth. But no one's talked about it.
What's the thing you probably hear most after you've explained kind of how this care works? What's the phrase that you hear more often than anything else after you've explained it to a patient?
Here's how it goes. They go, "This makes so much sense."
Yeah, that's exactly right. I can't tell you how many times people come in confused as all get out about why they're sick, why they're in pain, what's going on. They're getting different versions of the stories. And then we tell them, lay out some things for them, connect some dots based on objective findings. And just like that, they're like, wait, what? Like, that makes a lot of sense. How come I never heard that before?
Yeah.
But
deep inside,
bingo.
It's right.
Right. So
that's
a little more lighthearted. So, the world these days is very like Marvel or DC. So what camp are you in, Doc? Marvel or DC?
Well, I'm not a big superhero fan in general. I never got into them, but I like...
I'm going to move my chair just away a little bit.
I like watching like is it Wolverine's pretty cool, but I like Spider-Man. Is that the same?
Spider-Man's Marvel, Wolverine's Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So DC's like Batman, Superman.
Who's Iron Man?
That's Marvel as well.
Oh, apparently I like Marvel.
All right.
I think Batman's cool though.
Batman's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. But those characters, if they're under the Marvel banner, I like Marvel.
Yeah, I'm probably a Marvel guy as well. My 8-year-old son Leo is a big Marvel fan, so I'm kind of roped into it that way.
Yeah, I'm honestly more of a fantasy world.
Lord of the Rings is your jam.
Lord of the Rings,
or Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah,
I was one of those nerds when I was.
He's one of those gamers, if you will.
Back in the
board gamers,
dice
old
and the
school.
whole bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have much TV growing up.
No. Last question, Doc. Sweet or savory when it comes to food, or when it comes to a late night snack? Sweet or savory? You going for that late night hot dog stand on the corner, or are you going for the slice of cheesecake or something?
Oh yeah,
actually cheesecake might be a bit both.
I always irritate my wife when I tell her I'm sweet enough. I'm not really a big sweets fan, but I like fat. I like savory. I like street tacos and that kind of stuff.
I'm the same. I'd rather have a second or third helping of dinner or never mind the dessert, but give me more of the meat and veg and potatoes and maybe
avocados.
All that stuff.
Chips and salsa. Oh.
All right, so that's who we are. Dr. Jason, Dr. Shane. We're just two guys who love what we do. We love helping people, and we've got a pretty unique skill set that's really, really perfect for certain kinds of problems.
Yep. So if you're sick and struggling out there and this video kind of jives with you, then by all means, probably click somewhere on this page and set up a consultation with us. We don't bite. It'll be like this, and we'll just sit and chat with you and see what we can do to help. Or if we can't, we'll point you in the right